Saturday, December 13th, 3 p.m. Eastern, it's the annual battle, the Army-Navy game in Baltimore, Maryland. Braves Country Radio will bring it to you live from coast to coast and around the globe. A salute to all the men and women who have served and continue to serve this great nation. This year will be the 126th meeting between the Army Black Knights and the Navy Midshipmen. Join us live and we'll bring you play-by-play of America's game, Army versus Navy. 8 of the last 11 matchups being decided by one score, including the double overtime thriller in 2022. It's Army-Navy. Navy-Army. America's game, heard around the world. Hey, baseball fans, Matt Magee here for the BCR. Make sure to subscribe and become a member today. All offseason, we have a jam-packed schedule to keep you entertained and informed during the MLB offseason. Weekly shows like MLB Today, Braves Country Today, going over the world of baseball, how it affects all teams, including the Atlanta Braves. Once Upon a Pastime series, Thursday nights, we'll take a deep dive on the history of this great game. And on Friday nights, Braves Country Theater, we're going to turn back the clock and bring you historic games from the past. We'll bring you a game from yesteryear. That's Braves Country Radio, the BCR. Coming this spring, a jam-packed loaded spring training schedule, wall-to-wall coverage of Major League Baseball. Pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play, the Atlanta Braves, and our out-of-town doubleheaders. American League, National League, we're covering Ronald Acuna Jr.'s LVBP Sharks in December, the Caribbean Series. In January, the World Baseball Classic gets rolling. On March 5th, we'll be here for all the action. We'll see you there for the classic call of the great game of baseball.
Armchair.
Do you think you can get me a tape of the show?
What on earth for?
Well, how often you get to hear your son on the radio?
I'm on the radio every day.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
No one talks in my meeting. No one! Think you can run this? If you could, then I wouldn't be here. Because I'm sick and tired of our football team getting pushed all over the field. I want precision. This is an institution of learning, ladies and gentlemen. You've tried it your way for years. They've given me less than 1 year to turn this place around. Forget about the way it used to be. This is not a damn democracy. We are in a state of emergency, and my word is law.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire...
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. He's the all-American man. Yeah, the armchair quarterback. He's kind of fun and he's kind of fat. The all-American man.
Yeah, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show, Mr. Doug. How you doing today, sir?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well.
Bobby, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. How does my my mic sound? Does it sound all right?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
That sounds good. Bobby, by the way, that thing that I told you that we were getting out to you, a little bit of a delay because we had a crisis at the house, but it is getting out to you this weekend, so expect it next week.
Sounds good.
You talk about a nightmare. And the worst thing you can do is buy a house. The short of it is our line to our refrigerator broke a leak. And so we dealt with that for 2 days. That's the short of it. Total nightmare. I don't wish that on anybody. And we still haven't really fixed it. We've just kind of put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, but that's the way it goes. Doug, is that a new shirt? I like that.
Oh, yeah. Got it for my birthday. Yes, it is.
When was your birthday?
Oh, last Monday.
Son of a... You don't tell us anything.
Oh,
Come on,
I didn't
man.
think anybody would care.
Well, happy late birthday.
Thank you.
Obviously, somebody cared. They gave you that. Happy birthday, bud.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you old enough to drink yet? What's your where are you at?
Next year will be my drinking age.
Okay.
Next year, 21.
Your 50th anniversary of your 21st birthday?
Exactly.
I hope I make it that far. Okay, so we got a lot to get into. Obviously, we normally do the betting angle, but we got to talk about this before we jump anywhere. Football world. Sharon Moore arrested for alleged assault after the Michigan firing. Bobby, I'll let you take the lead on this, but he had the cliff notes are he had an inappropriate relationship, meaning he married man with 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
The world was his oyster, and he had to start banging a. I mean, I saw the pictures because she looked like an undergrad, but she was a staff member. Yeah, I bet she was.
Well, I think
I bet she was a member of his staff.
Yeah, I think she was a student at the school, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was definitely younger, like you mentioned.
But regardless, she was a staff member. So then that throws a
it's
more issues.
It's terrible. I mean, it's like the Ime Udoka situation with the Celtics. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors flying around on social media, and it's made it kind of hard to keep up with what's actually going on because you can't tell what's real and what's fake nowadays.
Right.
But apparently that situation spiraled out of control pretty bad, and given the fact that he's in custody for assault, I mean, it's looking like it's true. It's looking like it's true.
Yeah,
and things got really ugly.
The report I saw late last night was that he showed up at her house and was threatening her.
Yeah.
Now, they're saying was arrested after the firing, but the one thing I don't know, and maybe you know this, is the assault accusation. Did it take place after he was fired, or did it take place before he was fired, and we just found out that he got arrested after he was fired? In other words, was he trying to threaten her to shut her up, or did he lose his mind because she didn't shut up and he went and shut up at the house? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I have no idea. I did see a post online suggesting that that there was a meeting amongst the coaches that he wasn't involved in to discuss this type of conduct and how the team should handle it and whatnot. And because of that, he kind of lost his head and he went off and threatened the girl and did a whole bunch of stuff. But that was, again, just rumors. Either way, whether it's before or after, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it's in reaction to either the news coming out and him, inevitably about to be fired, or if it was on the if it had already come out and he had already been fired, and because of that he had lost his mind about it and went to go deal with it.
So if you're just joining us, Sharon Moore was fired and arrested yesterday, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Doug, what is your take on this? Have you been able to catch anything?
The only thing I've caught to add to what Bobby was saying is the fact that his name doesn't show up on the jail blotters until 10 p.m. last night. So usually you don't send someone to jail and he's on the blotters before, because wasn't the firing like bang bang like the other day? Because
the firing was yesterday.
It was yesterday. It all happened.
Was yesterday,
really
but yeah. So it was. I think it was. The timeline to me looks like he gets fired, he goes nuts, he beats up this girl, and he's arrested. And he's in jail by 10:30 p.m. Wednesday night.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is they might have arrested him last night, and that's what they did. But when did it take place? In other words, did he try to shut her up? Do you catch where I'm pitching?
Yeah,
I think it was more of a reaction
because she didn't shut up. So
I think it was more of a reaction. I think it's the latter.
Geez.
Yeah.
To me, that's almost worse.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because
I'd
you're
agree.
caught red-handed.
The cat's out of the bag at that point.
Like what are you gonna do, man? You just got to stop.
Yeah.
And anyways, crazy situation. Sharon Moore fired from the Michigan Wolverines, one of the top coaching jobs in America. So that's going to start the carousel.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and put a name in the hat for Michigan to look into and buy his contract out and go ahead and have him take over the reins. I'm nominating Mike Norvell. There will not be the same backlash that we had when Jimbo Fisher left to go to Texas A&M. This one will be fine.
I'm sure they'll be all over that. That sounds like a great opportunity for him.
We'll actually help him pack. And in fact, a number of us are volunteering to drive Mike Norvell up there. So that just put that out there. You could save face. I don't know what Michigan does. I think what they probably do is do an interim deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because what do you want to do? Do you want to start a brand new process and possibly lose anything that you got? Not just would you have your eyes on the transfer portal, but we just had National Signing Day, right? Yep. Do you do all that, or do you say, hey, we're going to keep the same staff, hope we can salvage what we can, and then we're going to be the number one job out there heading into 2026, November of 2026 when the hiring take place. Now, one comment, one joke that I saw was someone saying Urban Meyer come out of retirement and head up Michigan this time and not Ohio State. That would be pretty damn funny. I don't think it's possible, but that would be pretty damn funny. Can you imagine bringing in Urban Meyer after all the stuff that he's had in the skeletons in his closet to take over for Sharon Moore in his bizarre incidents, who took over for Jim Harbaugh, who was a dirty ass cheater? I mean, the list goes on, and I still put an asterisk on their 2023 championship because A, they cheated like hell to get there, and B, they didn't have to play the undefeated Florida State Seminoles.
True. I think what needs to be top priority for them in the next coaching cycle is character above all else, because they've whiffed.
Well,
they've whiffed on that.
I'll tell you where that leads. So that getting fired within 2 or 3 years, because character doesn't put tickets and butts in seats, right?
True.
I like what you're saying. I just know how this normally
maybe more of an emphasis on it then, not necessarily a priority, but an emphasis, to say the least.
Yeah, but the high character guys are going to stay where they're at.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe they go and no, I would say if he has one down year, they go and try and poach Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin resets his clock, because he likes to do every few years.
I feel like he's more of an SEC coach. I don't see him coach the Big Ten team up north.
I mean, he coached at a Big Ten school.
He did.
USC.
Past. They weren't Big Ten.
No, but I'm saying that he's been in the Big Ten as a head coach. He's been in the SEC. He's also been down at FAU, whatever the hell conference they're in nowadays. That thing keeps moving around. Yeah. I mean, I disagree. I think he could coach in any conference and coach well, because he's very good at the X's and O's. He's just terrible at basically being a human being. So anyways, we move on for that. I just wanted to touch on that because that's the big thing, as Sharon Moore. Bobby, when you get a chance, could you just put that in the chat? Sharon Moore fired from Michigan. That's all you got to put in there, and I'll put it on the screen. It's funny, ESPN right now is going over head coaching candidates. Once again, I think it's going to be internal. It's too late unless they had somebody that they already had their eye on, because Moore had. It's funny, when the news broke, I was watching the show out in Vegas, gambling show, and the reason why I liked them is, much like our show, we always focus on, are you going to win or are you going to lose? I don't give a crap about all the other social justice warrior stuff that the ESPN normally focuses on. And they were discussing at the time a legitimate reason for him being fired before they knew what had gone down, they were basically saying, yeah, well, he's been there 2 years, and he's only and the second host was like, he beat Ohio State last year. He had a pretty good year this year, and this guy's the guy who's arguing with him is rattling off the reasons why he should be fired, and then moments later, his co-host goes, "Oh, wow," because he's being fired for cause. And then they just kind of look at each other, and I'm sure the producer would have loved to put a dun 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 right there, because they had nothing over. I'm gonna have to slide Bobby's picture over, because I just realized every time I put something on the screen, it's gonna block the hell out of your face. So that should help out a little bit. There we go. I was trying to get this thing looking a little better, but now I remember why I always have to do it. Let me see. Is that's still big as hell. All right. Anyways, we move on. Let's go ahead and get your let's see, where's the clip for it? Let's go ahead and get your survivor picks, guys. All right, we got the survivor picks, and I'm still not there, and I'm going to start putting the level of difficulty on y'all here in a little bit. I'd like to get at least a fourth one done by the end of the season. Doug, we'll let you go first. What is your survivor pick? Don't pick a team that you've picked in the last few weeks since we started the next cycle.
Yeah, I'm looking to make sure, because I've been writing them down. Give me the Eagles to beat the Raiders.
All right.
That's
Doug's gonna. I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. I mean, my God, if they don't beat the Raiders, no offense to your fandom, Doug, if they don't beat the Raiders, they're going to be panicking in the streets.
It'll be the next head coach gets fired.
I've already heard way too many damn fans talking about that. Here we go. That's much better. Talking about wanting to fire coaches, wanting to trade away players, questioning whether or not Jalen Hurts is an acceptable quarterback in the National Football League. By the way, not only has the guy won the Super Bowl, 2 of his best games he's ever played have been in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Right? Like, if they end up winning the game against Kansas City the first go around, he's the Super Bowl MVP. It was that good of a game we had.
And they were a bad holding call away from getting it done.
Yeah.
I met an Eagle fan the other day.
I'm sorry.
And it is so obvious. They are the worst fan base in professional football.
Yes.
Equally, they are the worst fan base in professional baseball. I don't watch hockey, but I'm assuming a Flyers fan is a jackass too.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And as far as 76ers fans, if there are any, I'm sure they're terrible. If Philadelphia had a very good college football team, I would say that they would actually go over and beyond the Miami Hurricane fan base as being the worst. The Gator fan base is terrible when they're good, but when they're bad, they're actually, pretty docile.
Yeah.
Hurricane fans are just always suck. But that's if Philadelphia, if Temple ever becomes good at college football, watch out. This guy was so delusional. I ran to him in the grocery store, and we just got to talking sports because I had a ball cap on, stuff like that. And this guy was so delusional. He was in on the whole, I don't know, I think we ought to think about firing our head coach. And I wonder what we could get in a trade for A.J. Bryant. We've got to draft a quarterback and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, would you just quit watching sports? Would you quit fanning? I got to ask you to quit fanning, okay? Just quit fanning because you're driving us nuts. It was unbelievable. But yet it's expected. That's the stupidest part about it. It's expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Philly sports fans are insane. I mean, I remember you were talking about the whole 76ers thing and stuff. I remember when Ben Simmons, he had a rough stretch of games and they ran him out of town quick, and he was looked at as a future star for that team.
Well, Ben Simmons, I mean,
yeah.
Now one thing I'll say about Ben Simmons, he might be the suckiest suck that's ever sucked.
Now they were right about him. Don't get me wrong, but they were quick to turn on him.
Well,
Philly sports fans.
Remember the main reason was because Ben Simmons, his entire career, he likes to sign big contracts but not play basketball.
Yeah.
Didn't he end up with the Nets?
Yep, and he had back pain that kept him out for months and months and months.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was back when I was watching Boomer and Gio a lot in the mornings. I don't get a chance to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you talk about, and one guy on the show is a huge Nets fan, and I mean I'm telling you, right before they signed him, the NBA was obviously his second favorite sport behind his Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Now
the guy doesn't even talk about the NBA.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons beat it out of him. Peter says, Doug, I need you to beat Bobby this week. Why do you need him to beat Bobby?
Yeah.
What's on there?
No can do.
So the play let me see here. Are y'all playing in the fantasy playoffs?
Oh, I got Bobby in the trophy league.
Yeah.
Why does she need you to beat him?
I guess maybe she sees Dog as a more favorable matchup. I don't know.
It could be. With that team, that could be.
Bobby is my closest competitor.
Gotcha.
Yes, there you go.
That's why.
Well, I'll do my best for that. I'm not promising anything.
Well, that's the funny thing about fantasy sports. You can have one of the best teams in the league and you get in the playoffs and you don't make the right calls and you can spit the bit.
Yep.
Looking at your team, Bench Warmers, I believe is your team. Actually, Mark and I are the closest true competitors because of points scored. She has 2242. Bobby has 2,042. So she's outscored you by 200 points. I have 22. She outscored me by 20 points. And she outscored Mark. So if this was a true rotisserie style league, I would have been the 2 seed. But that's not how we do it. That's not fun. Yeah. Dude, you talk about barely getting in by the skin of my chinny chin chin. Or the hair on my chin, whatever the hell the saying is. In the Tennessee league that Carr is in, Bobby,
yeah,
I don't think he knows this, but he saved my hide getting into the playoffs. So that league drives me nuts because that is a league where I have one of the better teams on paper as far as points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it started off like 0-3, and I think at one point I was like 1-5 or something stupid like that because I kept running into buzzsaws. Yeah. And every time I would get some momentum, I would play a team that would score over 200 points. It was nuts.
Yep.
And so you get to the end of the season, and so to give you an example of what's going on with that, for the year, my team has 2,100 points. It's the same scoring format, right? Mm-hmm. So decent. I want to say let me see here. I was 4th in the league in scoring, but going into the final week, I was actually 3rd or 2nd or 3rd. I had a terrible last week. I needed a win. If I win, I'm in. And if not, I need so many things to fall my way. I didn't even pay attention to the Monday night game. Carr was playing the guy that was trying to chase me down.
Oh,
so we're tied. So we're tied in the schedule.
Yeah.
But the points scored, I outscored him by 300 points.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna suck because I'm gonna end up with the same record as this guy, but he's gonna get in, or he's gonna beat me by 1 game because once again he was playing Carr, and Carr's got a bad team this year, and Carr's never scoring well at all. And I was like, I bet he's ain't paying attention to the damn team. That's it. What? I woke up Tuesday morning and like you're trying to get the focus. You're like, what? I'm in the playoffs. What the hell happened? Carr's team scored just enough points to win by just over 1 point Monday night.
Wow.
And remember that game went into overtime. That game didn't go into overtime because he had Dallas Goddard and he had McConkey, I think. McConkey didn't do anything, but Goddard got 12 points.
Wow.
I think total the two guys scored 13.
I'll be in at work in about an hour, so I'll let him know. I'll let him know you saved him.
So tell him if I end up winning the championship, I'll be sending him some beer money or something.
There you go.
Because there's no way I get in with him pulling that out. But anyways, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, my reward is I get to play the team with the second most points in the league. But whatever.
I'm given a week now.
But you get in. You can get squirrely. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm one of the most aggressive players there is in fantasy football. So if I can just get my nose in, I start trying to find angles on how I can help my team. One of the problems I always have those is that I'll look ahead. I'll say, hey, if I can get past this week, then I need this guy for that week. And then I never get to that week.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen Josh Allen is having a great season. All right, let's go ahead and get into our picks real quick. It is time for Survivor.
There's no need to fear.
Stupid.
Underdog is here.
Stupid. Underdog. Stupid. Underdog.
All right, stupid underdog. Bobby, you get to go first.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking at
we all spit the bit last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a rough week last week.
Poor Doug, he was 0-6.
Oof. I think I was like 1-5. Terrible.
I thought I was 1-5.
No, I see. That's why I keep him. Because of you.
We're not doing this again.
Well, how can I not be 1-5 when I had the same pick Bobby won? What
are you talking about? You didn't have the same exact picks.
Yeah, I did. We both had the over in the Cincinnati game last week. The Bengals.
Oh boy, we gotta do a booth review again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, all right.
I'm talking about the 6-pack of picks. I don't know what you're referring to.
Either way, it was bad. So let's move on.
I think you might be talking about your locks or just your NFL picks. I'm talking about all of them across the board.
I got you. All right.
Bobby hit one, and I've written over it, but it looks like it was a same game parlay of BYU, Texas Tech, or it was just the under. Yeah, it was just the under.
Okay. Yeah, I deleted my notes. I write over the same notes I have every week, so I can't go back and check.
Doug lost the Ohio State game.
Oh,
North Texas too late.
You don't got to remind him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You were 1-5. I wrote down.
Woohoo!
The record shows 1-5. I thought it was 0-6 because I remember thinking at the time, I was like, "Damn, I'm surprised Doug hasn't shot off 9 hateful text messages to me." But yeah, we all spit the bit. That was a week. I don't remember us ever having a week where all of our locks don't hit either.
Yeah,
that was
bad.
Well, actually, Bobby.
I think we all had Virginia. That
Bobby had Bobby's lock hit, but Doug and I's did not. I went with the premise that the Tennessee Cleveland game was going to be low scoring. That didn't happen.
Yep.
Who the hell thought Cam Ward and Shador Sanders would all of a sudden start lighting up the scoreboard in the snow? What the hell was that about?
It was halfway through the first quarter, and I think I texted you. I'm like, yeah, that's over. That's not it.
Yeah, man, it's cooked. We're done.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get stupid underdog. Bobby, what you got this week?
My stupid underdog pick, I'm going to the NFL because there's not a lot to choose from in college football, and I'm going with the Vikings at +5.5. Now, I know they're not playing great right now. J.J. McCarthy's not the best quarterback in the league, obviously. But the Cowboys are wildly inconsistent, and this is a primetime game for them. I think if we see the version that showed up against the Cardinals, for example, or a lot of other teams, I think the Vikings can go in there, get a win, or at least keep it competitive. Plus, I think J.J. McCarthy, he had a good game last week, so maybe we're starting to see a bounce back from him. But yeah, I got Vikings +5.5.
I gotta see more than that for JJ.
I'm not counting on it. I'm counting more so on the Cowboys being just extremely inconsistent,
and that's fair.
Yeah,
but McCarthy.
I got to see it a few times, at least.
I was telling a buddy of mine the other day, big Michigan fan. I was like, I told him, I said, I still go by my theory that Michigan never beats Florida State in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'll never change from that because
Yeah.
you look at the Florida State players that are in the National Football League wreaking havoc. Just for the Los Angeles Rams alone.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me J.J. McCarthy was going to be able to figure his way out through that defense? Hell no, that was the best defense in the country in 2023. All right, I'm going to – by the way, what about this Phillip Rivers thing? Is he playing this weekend?
I hope he does. That would be hilarious. He would surely be the first grandpa in NFL history to play a game, right? I would imagine.
I mean – I don't know if he's the first, man, because some of these dudes have kids really young, and then they have kids really young.
I know, like Drake Kirkpatrick had a kid at like 15, but he's already out of the league. So
it wouldn't shock me if there's been one before, but there can't be a ton of them.
Yeah.
All right, my stupid underdog pick. Man, I've been going back and forth on this, and you and Doug, I'm actually going to let you have the next pick. You go ahead and give your pick.
Oh, okay.
You've been picking for a while, so I'll and I don't feel strong about any of my picks, so I'll go ahead and give it to you.
All right. Go ahead and take my stupid underdog. Take Boise State plus 8.5 against Washington.
Boise State. All right. Doug's going Boise State. By the way, the bowl season actually starts this Saturday night. They didn't used to do that. I think last year was the first year they did that. They used to let the Army-Navy game stand alone. You had the Heisman Trophy announcement, and then that was it. And the NFL was putting one game on Saturday night. I don't know if y'all remember that a few years back. I don't know why the NFL quit doing that, but now we're getting the what is this? The Bucked Up LA Bowl?
Oh boy.
What the hell is Bucked? Anyways, a fairly decent matchup, by the way, for the first bowl game of the season. It's a little strange, but that's what we have. I'm going to go to the National Football League. All the other college games, I thought about the Boise State game, but all the other college games are kind of a waste of time because they're like 1.5 point spreads. And next week we're going to do our college football bowl challenge. So we're all going to take the point spreads and we're going to keep up with it throughout the rest of bowl season. So it's literally on those, and we'll give you our 6-pack. That's separate, but we're all going to pick the point spread, strictly just the point spread on all the bowl games that will be remaining. I believe there's actually a game that night, but that is next Thursday. Real quick programming note: no show on Christmas week. Don't want to put the guys through that. And then New Year's Eve, which is a Wednesday, we'll be back. So we're not doing the show on New Year's Day, which is a Thursday, for obvious reasons. We're going to do New Year's Eve, leading you into the first college football playoff, or the first game of the second round of the college football playoffs. Also, programming note, if you haven't caught it yet, we'll be doing the play-by-play of the Alabama-Oklahoma game, the first game of the playoffs, next Friday night here on Braves Country Radio. Okay, man, I feel like I got to go for a big swing, but we're starting to bunch together so much. What the hell? Let me get God bless. So here's where my mind's at. Do I go for the big swing and grab your Cardinals, Bobby?
No.
At 9.5 on the road? Yeah, probably not. I think I'm going to play it a little safer, and I'm going to go ahead and see where's the line at nowadays. Yeah, give me the LA Chargers against the Chiefs. Man, the Chiefs are spiraling. The Chiefs are absolutely spiraling, and I'm going to take the Chargers plus 5.5. If I can hit that, and like say Doug doesn't cover the spread, I can narrow the gap a little closer, because this whole idea that I'm going to throw some big Hail Mary and catch and blow past Doug is gone. Like I need to grind it out.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from that, we will start off with our picks in the world of college football. And we're doing the Army-Navy game, but we can also pick from the bowl games as long as they do not kick off before our next show on Thursday. Peter says we need to ring in the new year together. Man, I'm not getting up early to do a football show after New Year's Eve. Be a skull ripper. I am trying to look into. Well, I'll talk about it later on the Braves Country Today show. But I'm looking to try to set something up for everyone to be able to tell good cheers to each other. Probably Christmas Eve, I guess, is when I'll put it up. But I'll talk about that in the next hour. Braves Country Radio, we'll be doing Braves Country Today. All right, college football picks. We can rattle these off fairly quickly. So, Doug, give me your 3 college football picks since there's not a lot to pick from to begin with.
All right. I'm taking Navy in the points in the Army-Navy game.
Navy minus, is it 6.5?
Yep, 6.5.
Okay. Navy minus 6.5.
He's actually, it just refreshed. I think he's getting Navy at -6 now.
Oh, is it 6 now?
Yep.
Okay, then -6 then. Still got Boise State at +8.5 in Washington. I feel kind of really good about that one. And give me South Florida laying the 3 points against Old Dominion.
That's a 5:00 kickoff, the Old Dominion game on Wednesday, because that's not weird. So you're taking South Florida -3?
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, Bobby, what you got?
So for my college football picks, I'm going to go with my first one. I'm getting Navy -6 as well. They have the number 1 rushing offense in the country, and Army has the 63rd ranked rushing defense in the country based off yards per game. So I just think they're going to be dominant on the ground. I like them at -6 in this one. For my next pick, I have USF -3 as well against Old Dominion. They've beaten some really good teams this year. I mean, not really good, but they steamrolled Boise State. They had a win over Florida. They beat North Texas, who's one of the highest scoring teams in the country. I think they're a better team than Old Dominion, and I think at only -3, I think that's good value. And then for my last college football pick, I'm going to go with Troy and Jacksonville State going over 46.5 total points. Jacksonville State, they have one of the top rushing offenses in the country, and they give up a ton of points. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring back-and-forth game. So I think it's going to clear 46.5 pretty easily.
All right, for my first pick for college football, I won't pick the winner, Army-Navy, because I am doing the game, and I just don't think that's right to do. But I will take the over 38.5. There's been a trend that these games are scoring a little higher than what they were before. And we're going to get decent weather, 44 degrees in Maryland on Saturday. So that shouldn't be a big factor like it tends to be on Army-Navy. A lot of times you get a snow-driven game. That's not what we're going to get. They both like to run the ball, but I do think that we get to the over. It's going to be a tight one, but I do think that we're going to get to that. We're going to get to basically, if I was going to call the score of the game, I'd say like a 24-20 type ball game. My next pick, Bobby, I'm with you on the Troy State, Jacksonville State game. I like the over in that one, 46.5. Everything that you laid out, I just think that's an incredibly low score. I don't know if it's because of smaller teams and people just aren't I don't know if they just aren't respecting the two, but we're going to get good weather there, 42 degrees in Montgomery, Alabama that night.
Yep.
It doesn't look like we're going to get a ton of weather conditions. They should be able to get to that number. And then my last one, I'm going with another over. I'm going to take Doug's game, but I'm going to take the over. Boise State and Washington, 52.5. Give me the over. I don't see either one of those two teams playing a whole lot of defense. And Washington should run through Boise State. And Boise State's going to either have to throw the ball to keep up, or it'll be turnover city. And either way, I think we get to the 52.5. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the National Football League. All right, the NFL, we can slow these down a little bit. The NFL, we've got a whole slew of games. And I'll tell you something. I don't think I brought it up last time, but when you do the Thanksgiving, right? And you have the really good, remember last Thanksgiving or this past Thanksgiving, that's one of the best slates we've seen with the 3 games that were there, right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is eventually you have to play games that weekend and you've already used 3 up. And we got to the weekend and we had Dudsville. I mean, Dudsville. And so thankfully this week we don't have any of that kind of nonsense. We do have the 1 game tonight. But the problem when you have a really good game on Thursday night or you have 3, and you had the Friday game too with Philly and Chicago, right? So 4 games were gone. Man, that Sunday after Thanksgiving, that was absolutely brutal. I don't know if y'all tried to watch the NFL that day. There was nothing on.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we don't have that going on this weekend. This weekend, we have a pretty good matchup. And honest engine, tonight's game, it's somewhat important. I just think the Buccaneers are going to smash the hell out of the Falcons. How long is it going to be before the Falcons get their head out of their ass and fire their head coach?
Yeah, that's been needing to happen. Yeah. Raheem Sterling's got to go.
They were mentioning it yesterday that however number of games that he has, he is creeping towards one of the worst because remember he was an interim head coach before, et cetera, et cetera. His career coaching record is one of the worst percentage-wise in the history of the National Football League for guys who have played. I forget how many he's coached, so we'll just say the number was like around 60, 70 games. For that number, no one has ever coached as poorly as he has.
That's crazy. Not only does he need to go, Terry Fontenot, the GM, needs to go. He needs to go.
Yeah.
He can't be allowed to blunder another decision.
They're all.
Yeah.
You remember when they hired this last hiring cycle? And I kept saying I wanted Vrabel. And wherever Vrabel was going, that's who I was going to start pulling for as one of my second teams.
Look at him now.
That's what I've been doing. I've been pulling for Vrabel. I like him. I think the Titans should have never fired him.
Yeah.
I think Amy Adams is a moron. And she hired a dipstick GM. And the GM but the big narrative that came out of the whole thing was that, if you remember this, they didn't want to hire Belichick or Vrabel because they wanted more control of what was going on in the front office and who's going to be working there. And these guys basically just saved their own hide for a couple of years. Said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to bring in a bozo who has no power because he's never had much of a career as a head coach. By the way, he's still a great defensive coordinator. He just needs to go back and do that. And so what they did, they bought themselves a couple of years of paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Artie boy, old Home Depot boy, can't figure this out. I don't know why I said it then. That's what they were doing. And though I still kind of pull for the Falcons on the side eye, where I look and go, man, they're just a disaster. I was not going to get emotionally invested to watch every single game until they get rid of these schmoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with that. I'm done with all of that. Outside of my Braves, I'm not going to live, eat, and breathe a team when they're getting their teeth kicked in and they show no signs that the administration knows what the hell they're doing.
Yep.
I used to do it when I was younger. Bobby, you're still doing it. I get it. There comes a point where you're going to go like, dude, I've got a life, okay? And
I'm already at that point, man.
Stress on this planet, and I'm going to spend it watching the freaking terrible Atlanta Falcon version. And I don't know what the hell happened to Kirk Cousins, but the moment he put on a Falcons uniform, he went to dust.
Yeah. Well, he did tear his Achilles right before that. I mean, that was.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that you would have expected that by now he would look a little better.
Yeah.
He never recovered from that.
Yep.
But with that being said, you should have done one or two things there. Never signed him or never drafted Penix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do both.
So now you can't. Now you can't pivot and draft another quarterback. You can't try and start new. You're stuck with Penix.
You're stuck with Penix for at least one more year.
Yeah.
Well, probably. I don't know. If you fire the GM, he could go in a different direction and say, hey, we're going to have I guess what you could do that the fan base would accept would be draft a guy later in the draft to compete with Penix.
Yeah.
Right. But I even said back then that was a reach, Penix that high. Everybody loved the fact that what he did in his last year in college. But if you watched his games, he does not look like a guy that is going to be able to lead the charge on a National Football League field because he has physical limitations. First of all, he's not mobile enough.
Yeah.
If you're not mobile enough and you don't have that strong or accurate of an arm, that's a trifecta of crap is what that is. That's just like you've marked all the boxes of
Yeah, I mean, I think he reads an NFL or a football field as good as anybody. I think the big thing is the consistent knee injuries. I mean, it's going to be something that hampers him.
I've watched these games, game in and game out, and I'm telling you, he makes really, really panic throws. Now, maybe a new coach can fix him, but I don't buy into that narrative. That I
don't know. I mean, what I saw at Washington, it was incredible stuff. But yeah, something's gone awry, and
because he was playing in the Pac-12.
That's true.
Remember, he got dusted in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they ran into Michigan. That's another reason why I said there's no way in hell Florida State doesn't win that national championship, because that Florida State defense would have been sitting on the head of Michael Penix, and you wouldn't have needed to score that many points.
Everything ties back to Florida State.
It always ties back to the fact that college football playoffs is dirty as hell, and the only way to clean it up is to expand it. And I know that sounds strange. I've been having a back and forth with a buddy of mine on Facebook.
Amen.
And he keeps saying, he keeps trying to defend the bowl game. You know why he's defending the bowl game? Because he's a Tennessee fan, and he wants to give you some kind of belief that whatever bowl game they're in, people are going to watch. Nobody's watching this. I don't even know when the hell their game is. When the games come on, if I'm working in studio that day and not out of the office, I'll put it on in the background. But I'm not getting locked into it. I won't be listening to it. So it'll be on some random third channel while I'm catching up with news or baseball news or whatever the hell I actually listening to. I don't care about these games. Thank God Florida State declined their bowl invitation. I don't know if y'all saw that or not.
I didn't know.
10 teams at the time. I think this is 24 hours after the bowl bids came out. So the number may have gotten higher, but 10 teams declined bowl invitations. Florida State was one of them.
Yeah.
Where was that energy in 2023? I salute Notre Dame for telling the bowl games to go screw.
Yeah.
Because they got screwed out of the playoffs. It still wasn't near to the effect of what Florida State got screwed out of in 23.
Yeah.
But how do you get those kids motivated and jacked up to go play a meaningless bowl game? And I do think this is a power move at the end of the day by the NCAA trying to force Notre Dame to join a conference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is part. Yeah, I was going to say, because that's one of the narratives I was reading about the other day was, well, if Notre Dame thinks it's so unfair, why don't they join the Big Ten? Why don't they join the Big 12? Why don't they join the ACC? Well, for one, with Notre Dame, there's no money in the ACC. Maybe the Big Ten, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They've been an independent for 100 years, and they're not going to change.
Yeah, I think Big Ten would be the smartest move.
If they're forced into it, then yeah, Big Ten would be the best.
If they went to the ACC, they would have to force the ACC and ESPN to change the entire football contract.
Yeah.
And give themselves and to get them into the ACC. If I'm the ACC, I give them a healthy chunk when at the very beginning, right? Just like they did to entice Florida State to come to the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I still think when you reevaluate the whole thing, if you want the conference to stay together, you've got to give the Florida States, the Clemsons, the Miamis, and then that would be Notre Dame. Those 4 teams need to get a bigger chunk out of the football pot, because you cannot tell those 4 schools, we'll say 5 to 10 years from now, you're going to get the same cut as Duke football. You're going to get the same cut as Boston College. Schools that don't give a crap and aren't even trying, right? So, yeah. And hell, if James Franklin can turn around Virginia Tech, you never know. But I'm not buying that, because that still is always going to come down to the current structure is how many eyes are on the game.
Yeah.
So the current structure right now, which is why Notre Dame would get a big chunk anyways, even if they didn't, Doug, is that their current contract is structured with the top 3 teams over the average. I think it's 3 years, maybe it's 4 years, over the 3 or 4 year average, get the most money. So if they join, that would be Notre Dame, that would be Florida State. Florida State's always the top one in the ACC, no matter the record. And then the third one would probably bounce back and forth between if Miami or Clemson, how they were doing. But if Notre Dame comes in, if you're Miami or Clemson, you say, no, we want the top 4. Let's change it.
Yeah.
Because nobody's watching Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. They're watching.
Yeah, don't need to see him in his bathrobe every week.
By the way, I saw a video last night. This is kind of off base, but not really. They're still saying that nobody knows why Butler did not play in that Super Bowl. Even Butler. You remember that?
That never made sense to me.
And so now these are conspiracy theories, but now everybody's trying to tie it to maybe they were both trying to bang the same chick.
Possibly.
It is possible.
They're probably shooting for the same age range.
We never thought of it at that time. Or heck, maybe they were banging each other. The only thing that I saw that was is that the Kraft comment was all he knew is it was something personal between the two. It wasn't football related. It's really strange. Bobby, what's your first NFL pick?
My first NFL pick, I'm going Panthers -2.5 versus the Saints. The Saints they're pretty wrecked by injuries right now. They've got a lot of guys banged up. List is questionable, and of course, on top of that, they're just terrible. The Panthers, like we talked about with the Cowboys, I mean, they're another pretty inconsistent team, but I think they should be able to show up there and get a win over the Saints.
I hope to hell you're right. My season-long bet of the Saints not getting to 6.5 wins, I'm 1 loss or tie away from hitting that. But if you look at the rest of the Saints' schedule, it's a bunch of bums.
Yeah.
Carolina's got the best chance of beating them.
Yeah.
They've got Panthers, okay, then Jets, at Titans, at Falcons.
They'll win one of those. They'll win probably 2 of those. I bet they'll win the Jets.
That's my point. I just need 1 loss. I'm pulling for the Panthers this weekend.
Yeah, I hear you. Me too.
That's my best chance of that happening. If they beat the Panthers, they could run the table. Jets suck, Titans suck, Falcons suck the most.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Last week, I thought it was in the bag because they were heading to Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers played with them.
Yeah.
Doug, what's your first pick?
My first pick is Bears and the Browns. Give me the Browns at +7.5. I just think that spread is too big. Bears defense isn't playing that well. Browns defense is about the only thing that's working for them. So I could see them just keeping it close, and it's supposed to be a bad weather game anyway. So
10 degrees, although it is clear, and I don't think there's a ton of wind. So that's usually what I pay attention to on that. But 10 degrees is still 10 degrees.
Yep.
We're going to find out how old Primetime Junior going to do in that cold, man. 10 degrees. Good night. And I'll tell you what's an important game for him big long term, because if you have a quarterback that can't play in bad weather,
Cleveland is not.
You don't want him in Cleveland because that would be howling off that damn lake. I saw a stupid comment by Shannon Sharp talking to Ocho.
Shocker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, real quality television I'm consuming. But he said that Shedeur Sanders should tell them that he doesn't want to play the rest of the year.
That's absurd.
Because of their schedule, and said that, and this was a legitimate argument, because if they wanted him to play, they should have played him earlier in the year and let him play against some of these bad teams. But now, of course, this is just Shannon just being a freaking moron. Because they played the Bears, Bills, Steelers, and Bengals.
I guess playing against the Titans last week wasn't easy enough. I don't know.
Peter says that there will be shrinkage in 10 degrees. But like you get to cherry pick who you get to play with. Play against.
That would be a horrible, horrible message to send to your team.
I guess that's why Shedeur Sanders wanted to go play out in Colorado, so he could cherry pick who he was going to play out there. But what a stupid ass comment that was.
That was ridiculous.
They're acting like they should have put him in much earlier in the season. What, back when he was playing the Ravens, the Packers, the Lions?
It's the NFL. These games are going to be hard opponents.
It's the National Football League. It's always a difficult.
Yeah.
Even when you think, I honestly think Bobby's pick at 2.5 with the Panthers makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't shock me if the Saints go in and win on the money line.
They did it last week against the Bucs.
Right.
So that's a ridiculous take.
I don't actually watch their show. I see the clips on like TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no way I could sit through 2 hours, 3 hours of that Club Shay or whatever the hell he calls it. Just it's moronic stuff after moronic stuff.
Yeah.
Give me my first pick of the day. I did 3 teasers this week. My first teaser, New England and the Steelers on a 6-point teaser. That will give me New England to a +4.5 and the Steelers +3. Steelers are at home against the Dolphins. Steelers ought to get that W.
Yeah.
And the New England Buffalo game, I believe the Patriots are probably going to win this game because the Bills' biggest Achilles heel is they can't stop the run. That's going to be a problem.
Yep.
But regardless, I believe 4.5 in your pockets a gimme at home against the Bills.
Yep.
Doug, what's your next pick?
My next pick is with the Falcons and the Bucks. Give me the under at 44.5. Even though I think the Bucks are going to win this game, both offenses are anemic. The Bucks are still banged up. I know they're bringing back can't remember his name, but Godwin is back. But they're still they haven't scored a lot of points in the last 3 games, and what's his name I think is still hurt. The quarterback is still hurting. So give me the under at 44.5. It'll be a low-scoring game. Or the Bucks will score 35. It'll be 35-3. One or the other.
41-3, your final. Heard.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 0 chance I'm listening to that game tonight. I'll put it on the background because I'm sure I've got something's going on fantasy football-wise that's going to screw me if I don't watch it. But, I'm hoping some moron started a Falcon. But I'm not listening to that crap. This might be Christmas movie night here at the Magee household. I don't need to hear Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit think about hanging themselves because they don't want to be at that game. Bobby, what you got? What's your second pick?
My second NFL pick, I'm going to that Lions-Rams game, and I'm going over 55.5. I know that's a pretty high bar to reach, but I would be shocked if this game isn't a shootout. Both these offenses are very explosive. The Lions, they love to run up the score. So, I don't think they'll get out to a big lead, but I do think they're going to be trying to put up points all night, and I think the Rams will be doing the same. So over 55.5. It's a lot of points, but I think it'll get over that easy.
Christmas movies are elite. Peter, you're just watching them wrong.
Oh. You got to find the right ones.
Exactly. The classics.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to my dying day. Die Hard's not a damn Christmas movie. If it was, the sequel would have taken place during Christmas. End of story. Lawyered. Bang. I'm talking about the classics. I like White Christmas. I like Christmas Carol, but the right one, the one that was made in 1984, George C. Scott. That's the elite version. Last night I played for my puppies because they love cartoons. So we weren't really paying attention. We were we were doing other things, so we put on Charlie Brown's Christmas. What was the other one? Frosty the Snowman. I couldn't find it. I'll find it somewhere, but I'll end up playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that junk for them. Because for whatever reason, they'll just sit there and just stare at it and start tackling each other. I'm like, that's the Christmas spirit I like to see. All right, my next pick is see, the first one I gave you was the Steelers and the Patriots. So give me Giants and Rams 6-point teaser. So that'll give the Giants a 3.5-point spread. By the way, John was talking about how the Dolphins have been hot lately. They've also played the Redskins, the Saints, and the Jets. So is that hot or is that fortuitous scheduling? I'm not buying that they're going into Pittsburgh and beating Pittsburgh. But back to the pick at hand, Giants -2.5. So I'm going to take the teaser. That's going to give them a field goal and a hook against a Washington team that is limping to the end. Yeah. And then the other one is just the Rams just have to win. It's a 5.5 spread. They just have to win. There's a lot of great lines this week for teasers. Actually, I'm showing it 9-6. It doesn't matter. The Rams just have to win. But there's a lot of great lines for teasers this weekend. Doug, what is your last NFL pick?
I'm going to double down with Bobby and take the Lions-Rams game over 55.5. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game.
Lions, Rams, 55.5.
Double down.
And Bobby, what you got?
My last one, I'm going to that Cardinals-Texans game. I'm going to go Cardinals plus 9.5. That I do think we're going to lose, and I think we'll probably lose by about a touchdown. But against non-divisional opponents, we've kept it very close. I mean, most of these games are within one possession. Really, the only teams we're getting smacked around by are the NFC West teams that we're going up against. And I don't think the Texans are as good as the Rams or the Seahawks. I don't think they're that great of a team. So I think we'll be able to keep it close.
Well, that's why I was honestly thinking about, it'll probably backfire me, but the stupid underdog. Because Arizona's got a chance to go in there and beat them, mainly because their offense is terrible.
I just don't think we're going to win. I think we're going to cover because we keep it close with teams outside the division, but I don't think we're going to win. I think we're a really dreadful team, and we find a way to blow games like no other. So
the number I really like on that is the under at 42.5.
Might be good to tease them. Get Cardinals.
Because the Cardinals defense is a little underrated.
It is, yeah.
And the Texans offense is horrific, and the Texans by far have the best defense in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So you combine that together. I mean, I see a game that is the only way they're going to cover if it's like 16-6. Other than that, you got a really good chance, Bobby.
Yeah.
My last teaser, we're going to take the Dallas Cowboys. That is on Sunday night. Is it still 5? Yeah, it's 5.5. And we're going to couple that with the Chicago Bears. So it'll take the Cowboys just need to win, and the Bears need to win by 1.5. I think the Bears are going to bounce back in a big way against the Browns. They're at home. I've been more and more impressed with Caleb Williams as the weeks progress. That kid has got an arm on him, man. Yeah. And the game is starting to slow down for him. So he's really starting to be able to find composure. He made a couple of passes. I know they didn't win the game, but he made a couple of passes down the stretch against Green Bay last week that really impressed me. And I think this is a year that's going to catapult him next year into an every year conversation on whether or not he could be an MVP contender. I think he's got that kind of talent. Yeah. I just never thought he had it between the ears because he was a little goofy and a little weird. I mean, let's be honest. He was painting his fingernails and everything. I mean, that's not what you want out of your quarterback, but it seems like he's dialed down the goofy and weird, and he's kind of read the room. All right, real quick before we walk this off, Bobby, what's your lock of the day?
My lock of the day, I'm gonna go with Panthers -2.5. I know the Saints picked up a win last week, but I don't see them replicating that type of performance. I think the Panthers get this one done. And that's my lock.
Doug, what is your lock of the day?
Lock of the day. I got the Rams at lock it up. Rams will win 5.5 against the Lions in the end.
It is 6 now.
At 6, that's fun.
Okay. Rams -6. I don't hate that one either, honestly. I think the Rams are much better than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, they are very
The
good.
Lions are good, but they're a bit of a fraud as far as when you're talking about getting all the way to the Super Bowl. The Rams, to me, it's the Rams are bust in the.
I think the Rams might steamroll their way to the Super Bowl this year.
They might steamway their way to a championship, Super Bowl championship.
I hate to say it because
like not just get there, but who the hell in the AFC is going to beat them?
Yeah.
Their greatest roadblock would be a hospital. Unless they have guys in the hospital, I think the Rams are by far the best team in the National Football League right now.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I just hate taking those season-long bets to win Super Bowls and stuff like that because everything has to fall right, including health. And
yeah,
I've never had good luck with those.
Yeah.
But if you're going to ask me who I would put money on, it'd be the Rams right now. My lock is going to be New England -1.5. They're going to be at home. The crowd is going to be fired up against the Bills. And I think the Bills have a lot of flaws, especially on the defensive side. And we're going to see a little lower scoring of a game than what the experts have predicted because of the weather in Foxborough, 30 degrees, and they're calling for rain/snow. But good news for you, Peter. You've got the bye, so you don't have to worry about what Josh Allen's doing this week. And if y'all remember last week or last year, I told you then I thought the second best team in the National Football League and arguably the best team was the Los Angeles Rams because the only reason why they lost to Philly because that game was in Philly, neutral site, they steamrolled the Eagles.
Yep.
So this is it. This is more of like if you're for the Tombstone fans, this isn't about revenge. This is a reckoning. And that's what we're at. Okay. One big thing as we walk it off. What you got, Bobby?
My one big thing, this is a huge week for the Ravens and the Chiefs. Both the teams are 6-7 on the season right now, and they got their backs against the wall. They play at noon on Sunday. And I think one of them is going to drop to 6-8, at least one of them. And it's going to be a rough climb back into the playoff picture for them.
Mr. Doug, what's your one big thing as we walk it off?
With Notre Dame refusing their bowl bids, and you've got 10 teams not taking their bowl bids, I'm honestly wondering: are we going to get to a point that we just don't play bowls anymore? Are they becoming irrelevant?
I've been screaming that from the mountaintop for 2-3 years now.
Okay,
bowl games are worthless. Don't waste your time unless you've got a good line that you found, the overrun, whatever. But all the opt-outs, all that stuff, they're worthless. There is no merit to bowl games anymore. That's why screw 16. They've got to expand to 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
And once again, I know I'll keep beating the drum over here, and some folks don't want to hear it. Bowl games are getting moved to August. I'm telling you, that's the only way to save them. The only way you save the bucked up bowl, whatever the hell that was that they had on there, is you're going to move them to August, and it's going to be it's like the old-fashioned kickoff classics that they used to call them in the 80s and early 90s. You're going to have a handful of bowls, move their stuff. They'll make the selection in the spring and say, hey, I want Alabama versus USC, whatever. But it's a whole weekend to get it kicked off. And I say do it. Maybe do half of them in week 0 and the other half on Labor Day weekend. My walk-off is Sharon Moore's firing means somebody's got to get hired. I think we get an answer by the end of the weekend. Does someone else get cherry-picked their head coach, or do they just hire within? They probably hire within, but I'm telling you, man, Mike Norvell, get him for a steal. We'll even pay half his damn salary for you. Just take him. Anybody. I don't care. Just take him. He's a fine lad. He is. All right. We'll see you next time. See you in about 5 minutes over on Braves Country Radio. Braves Country Day, all the Major League Baseball, including a big signing by your Atlanta Braves.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's closing time, y'all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have a great one. On your way out, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to tip your favorite bartender. We'll see you. I'm Mac McGee, signing off for Braves Country Radio.